Right now at noon, the presidential candidates making one final push before Election Day, how they're spending Election Eve, and what the pollsters are saying. Plus, the Packers head into their bye week on a sour note after falling to the Lions over the weekend. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us today at noon. I'm Josh Sprider. We begin with our 3 for the People coverage with the election tomorrow. That means one more day for candidates making their case to voters. And both presidential campaigns are spending more time in Wisconsin. Vice presidential candidates J.D. Vance and Tim Walz are both in our state today. Earlier this morning, Senator Vance was busy rallying supporters at the La Crosse Center. Vance then travels to Michigan, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Governor Walz will make 3 stops in the Badger State today. He'll start the day in La Crosse, followed by Stevens Point, and then finishing the day in Milwaukee. The presidential candidates are making a final pitch to voters as polls show a neck-and-neck race. Former President Trump returning to North Carolina today, a battleground state he carried the last 2 elections. He'll also be rallying in the battleground states of Pennsylvania and Michigan. However, his campaign is trying to downplay this remark he made during a Sunday rally in Pennsylvania.
And I have this piece of glass here, but all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news, and I don't mind that so much.
Meanwhile, Vice President Harris is focusing all her Election Eve attention on Pennsylvania, where she will hold a star-studded Get Out the Vote concert this evening, along with coordinated events across the battleground states. In Michigan Sunday, Harris tried to appeal to the state's largest Arab American population.
We have momentum. It is on our side. Can you feel it? I will do everything in my power to end the war in Gaza.
The polls continue to show a tight race in all of the key battleground states within the margin of error. It comes down to turnout. More than 78 million Americans have voted early this election. That is nearly half of the 2020 total vote. Well, we have a rainy start to the week, and it looks like a rainy election day. First 4 meteorologist Kelly Slifka is out on the weather patio. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, good afternoon, Josh. It's kind of looking a lot like November, not feeling like November, but November can be pretty dreary. And yeah, we don't really have rain per se. I've got a radar 3000, very super sensitive mode. So basically what it's picking up is the heaviest drizzle that we have. But you can see it's kind of surrounding the Madison area down toward Lake Geneva as well. This is real light stuff. And everything's lifting from southwest to northeast. So it's going to be kind of damp. The ground's going to be damp all afternoon long because of this drizzle, at least we have. Future track may be picking up a couple of showers popping up this afternoon. Don't expect a whole lot more rain per se, at least accumulation wise. Mild though, we're to 15, 16, even 20 degrees warmer than where we were at this time yesterday. Kind of gloomy out here, 66 though, so fairly mild with a southwest wind currently at 8 miles per hour at the airport. We are looking at more rain to move in. I think the broader area of rain will come in toward midnight tonight into early Tuesday morning. So if you are headed out to the polls tomorrow morning, make sure you have the rain gear. And I would take your rain gear just about all day long, because even though I think the steadier rains will be out of here in the morning, still expecting some showers, maybe even a stronger thunderstorm. Definitely some gusty winds, could be up to about 35 miles an hour. 66 in Madison already, up to 67 in Middleton and also Waunakee. Gloomy out here with temperatures in the upper 60s. A little bit of drizzle, can't rule out a spotty shower here and there. Better chances later tonight, and we'll see how much more rain we can expect over the next couple of days coming up. All
right, Kelly, thank you. Right now, Sun Prairie police say one person is dead after a collision. It happened last night around 8 o'clock near the Prairie Athletic Club. Witnesses say a vehicle hit a person in the road. The victim died at the scene. The driver is not hurt and is cooperating with investigators. Police initially closed off the area, but the roads are now all open. 2 people are dead and 1 injured after a 3-vehicle crash in the village of Windsor. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says that crash happened yesterday. The Sheriff's Office says 2 vehicles were traveling northbound on US 51 when one crashed into the other, causing the vehicle to veer into the southbound lane. That's when another vehicle struck the car. The 23-year-old driver and his passenger died as a result. First responders took the driver who caused the crash to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Well, the Packers are entering their bye week on a losing note. This after falling to the Lions at home Sunday, 24-14. Green Bay's offense struggled in the rainy conditions at Lambeau, only scoring 3 points in the first half. Packers quarterback Jordan Love also throwing a costly pick-6 right before halftime, giving the Lions a 14-point lead. The Pack would try and make a comeback, but it wasn't enough. Green Bay's next game will be on the 17th when they travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. Still ahead for us this afternoon. If you have a question or concern about your plants or garden, now's the time to send us your questions via email to tips@channel3000.com. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will join us later in this broadcast with the answers. Again, that is tips@channel3000.com. Up next at noon, Starbucks unveils its holiday cup designs. Plus, casual dining chain TGI Fridays files for bankruptcy. What the company is saying about that decision.
The other side is lying to scare you.
Truth is, Joan Ballweg is a champion for women's health care.
She fought hard to expand healthcare access for postpartum moms.
And supports access for IVF and birth control.
We're voting for Joan Ballweg because she votes for women like us.
So let's get one thing straight. When Donald Trump talks about cutting Social Security and Medicare, it's like spitting in the face of America's seniors. We paid into these programs for our entire careers, and he would just cut them? Why? He wants to give another tax cut to the super rich, which they don't need. I know that Kamala Harris will protect our Social Security because she understands why it's so important for so many of us.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
When I was 27, I was diagnosed with MS. That's life-altering news. I had to prioritize my health and start taking medication. Back then, these cost $6,000 a year. Now the generics cost 5 times that. Senator Baldwin claims she's fighting to lower drug prices, but she's taking millions from Big Pharma and works for them. I'm not taking their money. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'll fight the corruption and lower drug prices because I've lived it.
I'm Tara, a nurse here in Wisconsin, and my patients don't want politicians like Eric Hovde making their healthcare decisions. He means what he says about opposing reproductive rights.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
And there are forces in Washington who want to pass a nationwide ban on abortion. And if Hovde gets elected, I worry he'll support that ban that could turn nurses like me into criminals. We need to vote against Eric Hovde.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm Elizabeth Grabby, and this is Home. Whether it was saving our family farm, starting my small business, or standing up to utility rate hikes, I've learned to solve problems by bringing people together. And right now, we have some real problems to solve. Corporations jacking up prices, and extreme politicians banning abortion. I'm Elizabeth Grabby, and together we can bring down costs and protect the right to make our own medical decisions.
Oh man, you get a 5-star review, that's like the Cadillac of all Cadillacs.
I have a lot of them. Oh, you're Jake? And I'm like, yeah, I'm Jake. And they're like, oh, I saw your reviews. It's really good.
Quality service quickly, that's what you get with Precision.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
I, Kamala J.D. Harris, do solemnly swear.
Kamala swore an oath, but Kamala created crisis after crisis. Our troops murdered, an open border, crime in our streets, skyrocketing costs, assassination attempts, Americans abandoned during disasters, and we're on the brink of World War III. A broken oath and a broken America. Kamala can't be trusted in the Oval Office. Vote for President Trump and save America. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Casual dining chain TGI Fridays filed for bankruptcy over the weekend. The company says the move will allow it to, quote, explore strategic alternatives in order to ensure the long-term viability of the brand. TGI Fridays is one of several restaurants that has struggled recently due to inflation and changes in consumer spending habits. There are still more than 160 locations currently operating in the U.S., despite the closures of dozens of restaurants this year. Franchisee locations are not affected by the filing. Venom: The Last Dance topped the weekend box office again, raking in an estimated $26 million in North America. After 6 weeks in theaters, family-friendly The Wild Robot is still going strong. It's second with over $7 million. And Smile 2 took third with around $6.8 million. The new Tom Hanks Robin Wright flick, Here, debuted with just $5 million, good enough for a fifth-place opening. Conclave came in fourth. And Starbucks has unveiled its 2024 holiday cup designs. The cups will be released on November 7th, which is also when the coffee chain will begin serving its holiday menu items. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
At the noon hour, here is the stock report. We're in the red on a Monday. Dow down 200 points, NASDAQ down 18, and the S&P 500 down 7. We have today's ag prices straight ahead, and Kelly is tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, Will Loper looks at Tom Hanks and Robin Wright's new film, Here.
I think we're probably spending too much, throwing too much money on our southern border.
Last month, fentanyl killed my childhood friend. Drugs and criminals are pouring into our communities because Tammy Baldwin voted to open our border and defund our police. I moved here from New York to protect my family, but Tammy's bringing her New York values to Wisconsin. Tammy Baldwin is dangerous.
I'm Eric Huffey, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
And the punishment is real. Women denied care, unable to get pregnant again, traumatized, scarred for life. Young women who didn't need to die. Now 1 in 3 women live under a Trump abortion ban. And if he's elected, everyone will.
There has to be some form of punishment.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
So let's get one thing straight. When Donald Trump talks about cutting Social Security and Medicare, it's like spitting in the face of America's seniors. We paid into these programs for our entire careers, and he would just cut them? Why? He wants to give another tax cut to the super rich, which they don't need. I know that Kamala Harris will protect our Social Security because she understands why it's so important for so many of us.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
The problem with Todd Novak? He voted with his extreme party leaders 100% of the time, like voting against lower prescription prices. And Todd Novak authored the law to ban abortion in Wisconsin, with no exceptions for rape and incest. Todd Novak is with the extremists 100%, and he's hurting Wisconsin. Elizabeth Grabe will defend abortion rights, get more police funding, and bring down costs. Elizabeth Grabe for Assembly.
Growing up here in southeast Wisconsin, hard work and getting things done are in Brian Stiles' DNA. It's why Stile is recognized as a problem solver in Congress. He's fighting for Wisconsin families every day, combating high prices at the grocery store and gas pump. And Brian Stile is protecting Social Security and Medicare because you've earned it. Brian Stile, getting it done for southeast Wisconsin. Fair Shake is responsible for the content of this ad.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Wisconsin families still suffer from sky-high prices. Gas, groceries, housing. We pay more than ever, but that's not enough for radical Sarah Kieski. Kieski opposes putting a cap on property taxes, meaning higher taxes for us. The sky's the limit. We've hit our limit. We are getting crushed. Kieski's policies will hurt us even more. That's just wrong. Tell Sarah Kieski, Wisconsin can't afford higher taxes. We already pay enough.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Pam Bianchi from the Midwest Farm Report is out of the radio barn today, so here are your farm numbers. Time for your certified most accurate forecast. First War meteorologist Kelly Slivka out on the weather patio. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, good afternoon, Josh. Kind of dripping dreary out here. It's either feast or famine. We couldn't buy a drop of rain for a couple of months now. Can't shut it off. Now, we didn't pick up a whole lot. This goes back through yesterday about this time, 24 hours. About a quarter to about a half of an inch of rain, of course. Earlier in the day on Sunday, we saw 1 to 2 inches of rain across many areas. So we could probably use a break in the rain, but not coming anytime soon. Right now, radar 3000, I mentioned this when I was at the top of the hour. This is in super sensitive mode, so what you're seeing is light drizzle. So not really enough to need rain gear out here, but you can expect at least some wet roads for the afternoon as we'll continue to see this on and off drizzle. Now, tomorrow, there is just a marginal risk of severe weather. I think it'll be very isolated. Main threats would be some large hail and some gusty winds. And once again, I think most of the rain is going to be coming in tonight through tomorrow morning, but a couple of storms can't be ruled out in the afternoon. Right now, we have a lot of cloud cover around here, not seeing a whole lot of widespread rain. We've got another burst of energy that's going to come out of the southern plains right up along that cold front. And that's what's going to bring us the steadier rains later on tonight. It's going to be a pretty soaking rain right through tomorrow morning. Now, I know it's election day tomorrow. The best chance of seeing the rain is going to be in the morning, but if you're going to be headed to the polls, count on long lines. If you're going to be outside, you want to have that rain gear, have a plan for that. And some of these storms that fire up in the afternoon may be on the stronger side, nothing widespread expected. It's also going to be windy for our election day. Some of these gusts tomorrow coming in out of the south could be as high as 35 miles an hour. Average high now is 51. We're expecting a high of 67. We're already almost there. And look at that low tonight, only getting down to 60. That's about double what our average low for this time of the year. Okay, as we go through this afternoon, once again, we do have some drizzle, nothing real measurable out here. Later this evening, especially as we get toward midnight, I think that's the best chances of seeing some solid area of rain, and even into tomorrow morning when you're waking up. But as we get toward the noon hour tomorrow, I think the more widespread rain should be done with. Might still be some drizzle out here. Can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon hours. So the best chance of rain tomorrow morning should be moving on out, it looks like, in the afternoon. All right, we've got the winds out of the south. Nothing too major today, but watch what happens tomorrow morning. We see these southerly winds really pick up out of the south and southwest at 15 to 25. So it's going to be a windy, wet start to our day on Tuesday. Those winds will continue right through the evening hours as well. Our future track net, a whole lot of shower activity this afternoon. There might be an isolated one here and there, mainly just some of this drizzle that we're dealing with. As we get toward midnight, that's when we're expecting that more widespread rain, some locally heavy rains, especially from Madison areas to the south and east. Temperatures tomorrow very mild in the mid to upper 60s. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon, but you do see some cooler weather off to the west, and that'll bring us some cooler weather, it looks like, by tomorrow afternoon and evening. You can see that temperature down to 60 by 6 o'clock. Heaviest rains from the Wisconsin River Valley areas to the east, maybe upwards of 1 inch to 2 inches. Lesser amounts as you get up toward the Dells areas to the northwest. 64 in Janesville, 66 already in Madison. Another mild day tomorrow with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. We are calling for a little bit cooler weather, but also getting rid of the rain for a few days before another system comes in for the upcoming weekend.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Howard says put away your summertime pasta salad recipe. He has a new one for the fall in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
When we think of pasta salad, we typically think of macaroni salad or some kind of twirly noodles tossed with veggies in a light vinaigrette. Well, those are great for summer get-togethers and barbecues. But right now, we need a pasta salad that's more fitting for the season, like this new one we just came up with. We start by boiling some elbow macaroni, just like we always do, and draining it really well. While that sits for a sec, we mix a mayo with a bit of, get this, some maple syrup, a splash of apple cider vinegar, and a little salt, and we set that aside. Now we add some cut up cooked chicken to our pasta, along with some chopped up fresh pears and apples, a handful of dried cranberries, chopped celery, and to give this some crunch, a good amount of candied walnuts. All this gets tossed with our maple mayo mixture, and it's ready to serve as is. Or we can pop it in the fridge so it can chill for a bit before serving. It's really hard to explain just how good this is. I mean, between the sweet and tart dressing, the crunch of the apples and the pears, the candied nuts, and the heartiness of the chicken, what's not to love? As always, the recipe for our autumn pasta salad is online now and is ready to add some excitement to your table all season long. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a new fall-like way for you to say, Ooh, it's so good.
Ahead at noon, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and gardening questions. Email them to tips@channel3000.com and we'll get the answers next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Joan Balwig, and I'm here to set the record straight. I support birth control, the life and health of mothers, extending postpartum care, and fertility treatments, including IVF. I'm Joan Balwig. I have always fought for Wisconsin moms, and I always will.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She supported his disastrous economic agenda, higher taxes on the middle class. Kamala backed his open border policies, and their weakness invited wars. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower, and the border secure. But Kamala wants to double down on failure. Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
We count on gasoline to power our cars, our tractors, our way of life. So why is a city slicker from Miami, Elizabeth Crappie, okay banning gas-powered vehicles? Extremists like Crappie want to eliminate fossil fuels, robbing hard-working families, farmers, and small businesses of their vehicles. Miami Liz's radical ideas hurt our families and our main streets. Don't let Crappie get away with it. Born and raised right here. Todd Novak is our independent voice for common sense, protecting our way of life.
Rebecca Cook believes our parents and grandparents should be able to age with dignity. In Congress, she'll vote to strengthen Social Security and Medicare by repealing the tax on benefits, lowering the eligibility age for Medicare, and allowing Medicare to negotiate lower drug costs so our seniors get the prescription drugs they need at prices they can afford. Rebecca Cook, a homegrown Wisconsinite who fights for what's right. Project 218 is responsible for the content of this ad.
I think we're probably spending too much, throwing too much money on our southern border.
Last month, fentanyl killed my childhood friend. Drugs and criminals are pouring into our communities because Tammy Baldwin voted to open our border and defund our police. I moved here from New York to protect my family, but Tammy's bringing her New York values to Wisconsin. Tammy Baldwin is dangerous.
I'm Eric Uppy, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Brian Stiles says he's proud of his extreme record. Extremists want to gut Social Security and Medicare, cut benefits for seniors, and raise the retirement age. Stiles proud to join them. And they push to ban abortion in Wisconsin, restrict birth control, and monitor pregnancies to prosecute women. Brian Stiles proud to be backed by them. Peter Barca is proud to put Wisconsin over party.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Welcome back at noon. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. You can email them to tips@channel3000.com. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Happy November.
Happy November to you, too.
Oh, my gosh. And you've been busy decorating for the holidays already.
I'm covered with glitter right now.
It's
I'm
glitter
very sparkly.
season. What do we have here on the table today?
So this is a calathea. It's a nice house plant. Pretty adaptable. Takes bright indirect light. Likes to be a little bit moist. So if you're an overwaterer, it's a good one. And it's also adaptable to a lot of temperature conditions inside your house in the wintertime. So I wouldn't put it by like a radiator or a hot air vent or something like that. But it's really pretty, this variety with the white streaking and the really glossy leaves.
It's kind of a nice winter plant. Like,
it is
gives
a nice
some
winter
color
plant.
in
Yep.
the house when it's such a dreary time of year, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, let's get to the questions here this afternoon. First one from Judy. Judy asks when she should cut down her hibiscus and how much she should cut it.
Okay. So Judy, if you're talking about the hardy hibiscus with the great big flowers, that's sort of a perennial shrub, you can cut that down now. You can cut it down fairly far back. I'd leave, 4 or 5 inches because perennial hibiscus is something that's really late to to resprout in the spring, sometimes as late as the middle part of June. And so you want to remember where it is. If you're talking about a tropical hibiscus that you're bringing inside, all you need to do is sort of trim it out a little bit. It's probably going to drop some leaves when you bring it in. The leaves will yellow and sort of start to drop. And once it gets kind of leggy, you can trim it back.
It's interesting how just a little bit of a difference can make a big difference, right, in those?
Yes, yeah. Hibiscus is a family where there are hardy hibiscus, like the one we were talking about, and then Rose of Sharon, which is a shrubbier, bigger variety. And then there are lots of tropical ones that people get for porch pots and on their terraces and stuff in the summertime. And those need to come in the house. They will not be happy.
All right, question 2 from Carrie. Carrie asks, can I overwinter begonias the same way I do with geraniums?
So begonias and geraniums a lot of people will overwinter geraniums by bringing them inside and taking the soil and kind of letting them dry out a little bit. Begonias are a bulb, and so if you're going to overwinter them, you can bring them inside, cut back the foliage, and then treat them like you treat any non-hardy bulb like callas or caladium or anything like that. So in a dry, dark, airy place, you can put them in a flat with maybe a little bit of peat moss, and then check them every month to make sure that they're not getting mushy or dried out. Begonias, though, are very easy to multiply by taking leaf cuttings. They will send out new babies very readily, and so you can email our plant desk and ask for directions, or there are lots of video tutorials online on how to do that.
People are quiet today, only 2 questions.
Oh boy.
You're getting off easy. Well, Lisa, as always, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's go to Kelly now with a final check of your forecast.
Yeah, kind of a drippy afternoon for us. We got the clouds and mainly just some drizzle today. Can't rule out an isolated shower popping up this afternoon into the evening hours, but I think the broad area of rain will come in after midnight tonight. Pretty solid area of rain right through tomorrow morning. Then I think a lot of that will start to become more scattered in the afternoon, but can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm popping up. So the election day is looking windy and wet, but still should be fairly mild. So count on another couple of wet days. We get this system out of here by Tuesday night. We do cool down a little bit, temperatures in the 50s, but we are expecting dry weather toward the end of the week. Another system brings us chances of rain this weekend.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Gonna need that umbrella for election day. Have a great afternoon.